Next, global business is no longer an option that companies can afford to ignore. That's especially true in Japan with the domestic market shrinking. NHK's John Ledoux reports employers are realizing the necessity of a worldly workforce.
On the internet, no customer is farther than a click away. Japan's largest e-commerce company reaches fingertips around the world.
So I can check if it's a gold usually. Oh, I haven't used it? No. I don't think so. I didn't see it in my email. Yeah, sure.
5,000 employees work at Rakuten's head office. 14% are from outside Japan. That's some 60 different countries. 2 years ago, the company made English its official language, an approach it calls Englishization.
Right, that's great.
Even in the employee cafeteria, there's no escape. All the menus and signs are in English.
Rakuten is unusual in that it's Japan-based, and they say, they encourage everybody in the company to use Englishization so they can expand outwards. And that's kind of very unusual for Japanese companies.
Rakuten has been energetic in acquiring foreign companies and widening its overseas operations. Employees are expected to be able to express opinions in English and use the language to lead team projects.
Japanese company and they provide the manual translation API.
Crowdsourcing, yeah.
It wasn't always so. A couple of years ago, when the company held its first meeting in English, the agenda that normally would have been covered in 2 hours took 4.
But actually, they don't have any token payment. No. Their system.
Right, so it doesn't matter.
Fast forward to today, meetings take less time than when they were conducted in Japanese. Executives suspect the structure of English is more conducive to reaching conclusions.
Since we are competing with the global companies, the talent acquisition is one of the most important strategic issues for the company. We are expanding our business so rapidly. We never thought the people are enough. We're always looking for the good talents who have a global mindset.
Soichiro Minami runs a placement company for what are called global human resources. He's introduced workers to Rakuten and many other firms. Minami says the shortage of internationally skilled personnel is acute.
The demand for people who can work globally is going to soar. We need companies that are active overseas and human resources to support those companies. Without them, Japan's economy has no room to grow.
Schools such as this have begun transforming their curriculum to train the next generation of leaders with the hope that they can compete on the world stage.
You have a lot of information on your Venn diagram.
This spring, the Education Ministry bestowed the label Super Global on 56 high schools. They were selected to serve as model institutions to produce the kind of graduates the industry needs.
To use a skill?
To use her skill.
The ministry lists 5 skills as essential for globally minded workers, including communication and the ability to adapt amidst diversity. The super global high schools have 3 years to get students up to speed before they graduate. At this school, 20% of the classes are conducted in English. Group discussions put the language into action.
Question 4, 3. Reason for joining the war.
Interaction with people from overseas ensures that globalization isn't just an abstract concept. In this instance, 7 students were visiting from Vietnam. This fall, the Japanese students will return the favor. The number of exchange trips has doubled since this school got the Super Global designation.
You are two in the same club. After school, I will do. Okay. I will come to your club. Thank you.
ディベートの授業をやったり。
We have students debate one another and give presentations in class to learn skills they'll need as future global employees. The object of the debates isn't just to defeat the opponent. Instead, students should learn to understand and discuss ideas. We want students to become globally minded that way.
Tomohiro Fujita is looking toward a career in chemistry. He's off to a good start. The senior gave a presentation on his research and experiments in science class. A bit of nervousness was to be expected. The audience included a Taiwanese professor. Tomohiro spent more than a year investigating the disinfecting power of lemons and other citruses.
Something in the food has some effect that altered the growth of bacteria. So we cannot conclude it was caused only by acid.
The professor's feedback included advice on the element of the experiment that Tomohiro wasn't able to fully analyze on his own. English was not the student's strong suit when he first came to the school, but through activities of this sort, he's built up his confidence.
I want to be a scientist one day. And they need to use English when they write theses or do research and make presentations. I realize that my work would have a greater impact on a wider audience if it's in English.
The wider audience awaits as Tomohiro advances toward his career goals. He wants to draw upon the lessons he's learned in high school to create a ready-to-eat food that's delicious and nutritious. And when he does, he hopes it'll be a worldwide hit. John Ledoux, NHK World.
Well, the progress of the 56 super global high schools is being tracked over their first 5 years. And the Education Ministry hopes to then replicate their successes in other schools across Japan. Global education is becoming a local